The rain had just stopped. The streets were still wet, and the evening sky glowed with soft orange light. People hurried home, but one boy stood quietly at a small bus stop, staring at the road as if he was waiting for something he couldn't explain. His name was Ethan. He was the kind of person who always smiled for others, even when his own heart felt empty. Since losing his mother a few years earlier, life had become silent. He spent most of his days studying, working part-time, and pretending everything was fine. Then, a girl walked toward the bus stop. She held a broken umbrella in one hand and a few books in the other. Her long brown hair moved gently with the wind, and her bright eyes carried a kindness that instantly caught Ethan's attention. Her name was Emma. As she reached the bus stop, one of her books slipped from her hands and fell into a puddle. Without thinking, Ethan rushed forward. "Oh no," Emma whispered. "It's okay," Ethan said with a smile. "Books can dry. But missing the bus would be worse." Emma laughed. That tiny laugh became the first sound that slowly changed Ethan's lonely world. Over the next few weeks, they kept meeting at the same bus stop every evening. Sometimes they talked for only 2 minutes, sometimes for an hour. They spoke about dreams, favorite movies, music, and the future they both hoped to build one day. For the first time in years, Ethan found himself looking forward to tomorrow. One evening, Emma looked at the sunset and smiled. "You know," she said softly, "I think people meet for a reason." Ethan looked at her. "What if you're the reason my life finally changed?" Emma blushed and looked away. Neither of them said the words. But both hearts already knew. Love had quietly found its way between them. Days turned into months. They celebrated birthdays together, walked through parks together, shared coffee on cold mornings. Even silence felt beautiful when they were together. Everyone around them believed they were the perfect couple. But life never lets happiness stay easy. One afternoon, Ethan noticed something strange. Emma wasn't smiling anymore. She often stared at her phone with worried eyes. Sometimes she disappeared for hours without replying. Whenever Ethan asked if everything was okay, she simply smiled and said, "I'm fine. Don't worry." But Ethan could feel it. Something was wrong. One rainy evening, Emma arrived late. Her eyes were red, as if she had been crying. Ethan gently asked, "Emma, tell me the truth. What's happening?" She forced a smile. "Nothing. You don't have to hide things from me." For a few seconds, she almost spoke. Her lips trembled, but then she looked away. "Please, trust me." Ethan nodded, but deep inside, fear had already entered his heart. Because sometimes, the people who smile the most are hiding the biggest pain, and Ethan had no idea that the happiest chapter of their love story was about to become the saddest. The next morning, Ethan woke up with a strange feeling. For the first time in months, Emma hadn't sent him her usual message. "Good morning. Don't forget to smile today." He looked at his phone again. Nothing. He called her. No answer. He sent another message. Still nothing. At first, he thought she was just busy, but as the hours passed, the silence became heavier. The next evening, Emma finally agreed to meet him at the park where they always sat together. When Ethan saw her, his heart sank. She looked exhausted. Her smile was there, but it wasn't real anymore. They sat quietly for a few moments. Finally, Ethan broke the silence. "Emma, please tell me what's happening. I'm losing you, and I don't even know why." Emma lowered her eyes. Tears slowly filled them. "My father lost his job months ago," she whispered. "We're drowning in debt. We're about to lose our house." Ethan reached for her hand. "We'll get through this together." Emma gently pulled her hand back. "It's not that simple." She took a deep breath. "My family wants us to move to another city, and they've already arranged my engagement to someone who can help us financially." Ethan froze. It felt like the world had stopped. "What?" I said no. I fought with everyone. But they told me if I refused, my family would lose everything. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "I don't know what to do anymore." Ethan couldn't believe what he was hearing. He held her shoulders and said, "Run away with me." I don't have much money, but I'll work day and night. We'll build our own life." Emma closed her eyes. For one beautiful second, she imagined that life. A tiny apartment, late-night dinners, hard days, but together. It was everything she had ever wanted. Then reality returned. She slowly shook her head. "If I leave, my little brother won't be able to continue school. My mother won't get her treatment. I can't destroy my family." Ethan's voice broke. "So, you're choosing them over us?" Emma cried even harder. "I'm choosing their survival." Silence surrounded them. Neither of them knew what to say anymore. That night, they hugged each other for what felt like forever. Neither wanted to let go, because deep inside, they both knew this might be the last time. The following morning, Emma disappeared. Her phone was switched off. Her social media accounts were deleted. She left no goodbye, no explanation, only silence. Weeks turned into months. Every evening, Ethan still went to the same bus stop where they had first met. He kept hoping. Maybe today she'd come back. Maybe today she'd smile again, but she never did. Then, one rainy afternoon, an old woman walked toward Ethan. She handed him a small white envelope. "Emma asked me to give this to you, if you were still waiting." With trembling hands, Ethan opened the letter. Inside were only a few heartbreaking words. "If love alone could save a family, I would have stayed forever. Please don't hate me. In another life, I hope I become yours." Ethan couldn't stop the tears. He looked at the empty road where they had first met. For the first time, he realized, sometimes love doesn't end because two people stop loving each other. Sometimes life simply wins. 5 years passed. Life moved forward, but Ethan's heart never truly did. He finished college, built a successful career, and became someone everyone admired. People saw his smile, but no one knew. A part of him had been left behind at that old bus stop. Every year, on the same rainy evening they had first met, Ethan returned there with a single white rose, not because he believed Emma would come back, but because real love never forgets. One evening, after all those years, Ethan received an unexpected phone call. "Are you Ethan?" "Yes." "Who's this?" "My name is Sarah. I'm Emma's friend." Ethan's heart began to race. "Emma?" There was silence on the other end. Then Sarah spoke softly. "She wants to see you." Without asking another question, Ethan drove to the city hospital. His hands trembled as he walked through the long hallway. When he opened the door, time seemed to stop. Emma was lying on a hospital bed. She looked weaker than he remembered, but her eyes, they still carried the same warmth that had changed his life years ago. She smiled gently. "You still came." Ethan couldn't hold back his tears. He sat beside her and whispered, "I never stopped waiting." Emma slowly reached for his hand. "I wanted to come back so many times. But after my engagement, I learned I had a serious heart disease. My family hid it from everyone. I didn't want you to watch me suffer. I wanted you to hate me because I thought it would help you move on." Ethan shook his head. "I could never hate you. I loved you then. I love you now. And I always will." Tears rolled down Emma's face. "I was selfish. I stole our future." Ethan smiled through his tears. "No. You gave your future to save your family. That wasn't weakness. That was love." For a few quiet minutes, neither of them spoke. They simply held each other's hands, just like they had dreamed years ago. Emma looked out the window. The rain had started again. She smiled softly. "Do you remember the first day we met?" Ethan laughed gently. "You dropped your book into a puddle." "And you said books could dry." Emma smiled. "But broken hearts?" She paused. "Take much longer." A soft silence filled the room. Emma looked into Ethan's eyes one last time. "If there is another life, I'll find you first. And this time, I won't let go." Moments later, Her hand slowly slipped from his. The hospital monitor let out one long, continuous sound. Emma was gone. Ethan closed his eyes and kissed her forehead. I found my first love, and I'll carry her in my heart for the rest of my life. Months later, Ethan returned to the old bus stop one final time. He placed a white rose on the bench where they had first laughed together. Looking up at the sky, he whispered, "Thank you for teaching me that true love isn't measured by how long two people stay together, but by how deeply they love each other." He smiled through his tears, then quietly walked away. Some love stories end with a wedding, some end with goodbye, but the rarest love stories never truly end, because the people leave, yet the love remains forever. The end. Like and subscribe for next stories. Thanks for watching this video.